I kept saying hello, it would answer me back in a minute. So, good morning, everyone. Unity of Tustin. Good morning, those of us who are right here in the sanctuary, those of us who are out in front, those of us who are joining us online. Welcome to our Sunday service. It's wonderful to all be together. People are wandering in, but, you know, I'm up. So I would like to let you all know that Craig Stephen Phillips will be will be giving us the talk today, and the title is Balancing on the Tightrope of Life, which we are all doing and doing pretty well, I would say. So thank you for being here with us. And our musical guest joining us again is Jamie Lula. Thank you, Jamie, for joining us again, and we look forward to your beautiful music. Thank you. If you would all kindly silence your cell phones. I'm mostly certain that I did on mine. We'll find out later. But please do, because you may think you did, and then all of a sudden in the middle of the service it's going off, and you're like, oh no. So do be sure that that's turned off. That would be wonderful. In addition to, our Unity of Tustin financials are now posted on our website for full transparency, so that you can take a look and see how well we are doing, find out if you have any questions that we can clarify for you. So that's a new thing that we are just starting now. So go ahead and look at our financials online. That would be great. So that would be the welcome portion of why I'm up here. The second part is every month we do what's called a board update. And so I will transition into that part now. And what I want to talk to in this month's board update is the campaign that we have recently embarked upon. So 2 weeks ago, Zelda and Shara told us about the $90,000 balloon payment on our mortgage, which isn't very much. $90,000 for a mortgage is not much. But the balloon payment is due in February. And so they described the various ways that are available for us to pay that off. And they examined all of them, and they all have certain drawbacks. Some of them are seriously expensive. And so the idea of a community-funded campaign was suggested. We call it the We Free Unity Opportunity. So most of you have heard about that, but I'm going to reiterate, we're embarked on that. It works by community members giving funds dedicated to paying off the mortgage payment. So that's what this campaign is about. These donations are in addition to our regular giving, and there is a generous matching gift program in place. This is very exciting. Up to $45,000 is matched. So let's say you give $1,000, all of a sudden you've given $2,000. So this is a huge opportunity. This is a big boost. We are I know. Thank you. That I mean, drum roll, please. That's very exciting. We are accepting donations now, and pledge cards are available. They're green. For many reasons. The pledge cards are available out on the welcome table. On the back of them, there are various ways that one can give. There's so many things you can do, such as stock options and donations and all sorts of ways. And so grab one of those pledge cards, fill it out, return it to us, and it's going to be pretty exciting to see how we do. We Free Unity is the perfect name for what is a powerful affirmation of us working together as a collaborative, inspired spiritual community, demonstrating what is possible when we all move together toward a common goal. It's very powerful, the power of us. As a board member, I especially would like to share how much it means to me to have such outstanding community support. When you're on the board and something big like this comes up, you're like, what are we going to do? I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But what happened this time is that the idea and leadership to pay off the mortgage came from community members, and the fulfillment of the idea is coming from all of you. What a joy and what a relief, you know. And now, without further ado, I would like to unveil our thermometer. That's after less than 2 weeks. We're already at... Yes! Yes! After less than 2 weeks, look where we are. And, you know, every day that mercury is just going to rise all the way to the top. It's very exciting. So thank you all for your contribution and playing along with this. It's a worthy endeavor. So thank you very much. And with that, I would like Craig to come and say what he would like to say.
Thank you, Connie. Just to add to what Connie said, Shara and Blair and I were at a meeting this week talking about this initiative. And we started to talk about this feeling, and all of you have had it, when you are in the flow of something and it's effortless. Anybody had that experience? That's how you know you're in the flow, right? There's no struggle, there's no resistance, there's no frustration. And from the moment that this initiative started, it felt so right to everybody that heard about it. And there was a wonderful inventor and philosopher. He won the Nobel Prize. His name was Buckminster Fuller. Some of you remember Bucky from the old days. He developed the geodesic dome. He had a saying, an idea whose time has come. Do you feel that? This is an idea whose time has come so that the community can be free. And each of us hold within our hands the ability to make that happen. Just by giving what you can. And then maybe you can give a little bit more if it feels right. I'm going to be talking about balance today. We all have that inner feeling when we know that what we're giving and doing is right in the sweet spot. An idea whose time has come. Okay? So, not only can you give, but also we can hold this daily in our meditations. We can hold this as we move about in our lives. We can keep coming back to blessing the community and bringing this blessing of freedom to the community. Okay? All right. Thank you all. Thank
you. And now, if you would all stand for the community song that Jamie will lead us in.
Good morning, y'all. So I don't know about you, but I learned this song in 1967 when I was in 2nd grade. And my experience is sometimes it becomes by rote. And what I ask is that you drop down in your heart, because I think it's an important song right now. You all know it, you all have sung it, but I invite you to just drop into that place, that centering place, and allow this to be the prayer that it is. So. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Good morning. My name is Patty Higgins. I'm one of your prayer chaplains, and it's my honor to begin today's service and light our wonderful Christ candle, symbolizing the beautiful light of love within each of us. And also, I will be reading the daily word. Yay, it lit. Today's Bible reading is from 1 Corinthians 2, verse 12. Now, and it's generosity, generous. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit that is from God, so that we may understand the gifts bestowed on us by God. We are in the flow of infinite prosperity. We receive graciously, gratefully, and share God's abundance that is channeled our way most generously. We share with loving, giving hearts, blessing our neighbors as we have been so richly blessed by the divine. We receive as lovingly as we give. And in my case, that means I'm into regifting because I receive generously. We don't keep accounts or engage in transactional giving. We give and receive freely, trusting to God's limitless supply of creative ideas to renew us and ours. Without hesitation, we give generously of our time. We listen patiently to those whose ideas differ from ours and whose values are different from ours. We give generously of our talent, like the Bud Britts, the McCombs and the Pagets, the Beerys, the Carters, all, and the Julies, who give so generously of their talents, nurturing our gardens, and the many other volunteers. We give generously cooking in the kitchen so we can all have some great eats after service. The members of our boards and all of us give generously. Some give generously by tithing, like the Bazinskis have tithed all these years to maintain Site 6. And many of us tithe in many different ways, as you see as we put our hands over the basket today during the offering. Some people like to tithe with their treasures, like see all those names on those trees on the wall? Those are people who gave of their treasures, like the DeKramers who donated the waterfall on Site 8, the Mathlins, the DePreets, the Craigs, so many others who have built up our gardens and our sanctuaries, the Bud Britts who gave his talents to do our stained glass. We are so blessed. So, got so many papers. I've just been generously given papers today. So with that, we repeat our generous affirmation. Thank you. I couldn't find that page here. It's here. Thank you. See, you give generously of your guidance here. Thank you. So repeat after me, after I say it once, our affirmation. The abundance of the world flows through me. Together, the abundance of the world flows through me, mostly in the form of love. Thank you.
From a red bud on my favorite rose bush to the smile on a grandmother's face, to the dew on a single blade of grass, I keep seeing in the smallest ways. From the hoot of an old horned owl to the laughter of children at play, to the first whistle passing my son's lips, I keep hearing in the smallest ways. When I pay such close attention, there's no judgment in my life. There's only love in the smallest ways. In the smallest ways. From the birth of my only baby to the song that I've sung full of grace, to the loss of a mentor not meant to be mine, I keep feeling in the smallest ways. From a breath of night blooming jasmine to your scent permeating my days, I can call to mind what I can't find. I keep breathing in the smallest ways. When I pay such close attention, there's no judgment in my life. There's only love in the smallest ways. In the smallest ways. In the smallest ways. From the light of your sweetest kisses to the tear that I stole from your face, and gelato we shared on the boulevard, I keep falling in the smallest ways. When I give in to sweet surrender, and I know that God is in this place, there's only love in the smallest ways. Come on, y'all. In the smallest ways, I keep seeing. In the smallest ways, I keep hearing. In the smallest ways, I keep feeling. In the smallest ways, I keep breathing. In the smallest ways, I keep falling. In the smallest ways.
Let's feel into this presence. Love in the smallest ways. prayer is an act of love. So let's bring that love to our prayer this morning. Bring our devotion as we lay our lives down at the feet of this omnipresence that is here. Lay it down at the altar of your heart. All your cares, all your concerns, all that's moving in your life right now, all that's happening and unfolding in the world around us. We wonder, what can we do? So today, as a prayer, I'll read a teaching from the great sage Lao Tzu, written 2,500 years ago or so. If you want to awaken all of humanity, then awaken all of yourself. If you want to remove the suffering in the world, then eliminate all that is dark and negative in yourself. Truly, the greatest gift you have to give is that of your own self-transformation. Breathe this teaching into your heart. Feel an opening right in the heart this morning and breathe the truth of these words into your heart. Breathe it as peace. If peace is what we want in the world, breathe this peace into your heart and be peace. You are that peace. You are the prayer of peace. We will not find this anywhere else. There's no political solution to this. There's no outside of us for this. It's within us. Feel it. Let that be your prayer this morning. As the song said, let it begin with me. Where else will it begin?
God, you are so beautiful. 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 Can't take my eyes off of you. Can't take my eyes off of you. Can't take my eyes off of you. Oh. God, you are so beautiful. 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 I can't wait to touch and feel your presence. Can't wait to touch and feel your presence. Can't wait to touch and hold your hand. Oh, oh, come on, y'all. God, you are so beautiful. 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 I can't wait to hear your voice. Can't wait to hear your voice. Can't wait to hear your voice in me. Oh God, I am smitten by this love I feel. Oh God, eyes me as a place where you are revealed. I commit my life to live in peace. Oh, I devote my life to live with amazing grace. God, you are so beautiful. 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 I owe everything I am to you. I owe everything I am to you. I owe everything I am to you. Oh, come on. God, you are so beautiful. God, you are so beautiful. God, you are so beautiful. God, you are so
Feel into that beauty. God, you are so beautiful. Get a feeling of that beauty this morning, that you are that beauty. As we come to rest together in the ocean of peace, luckily, we don't have to wait. This is available now, or not at all. As we sit together this morning, let yourself rest completely. Rest in this ocean of peace. Let your cares and your worries and your burdens and all that's happening in your life and in the collective, let it dissolve into this peace, which is here and always here. As you breathe, let your breath be a breath of peace. Feel it again flowing through your chest, through an opening in your chest, right into your heart. Peace. Feel your heart becoming lighter this morning. And if there's any remaining burdens there, or worry or fear, anxiety, let it go on the out-breath. Breathe in peace, let go out into peace. And when you feel that you move away from this peace, when your awareness gets caught up in the thinking mind with its problems and worries and fears, let this be a bell of mindfulness this morning that brings you back to the breath of peace. Breathing it again into the heart. Breathing that peace out, radiating that peace on your out-breath. As you come to your breathing again, breathe into the heart, peaceful heart. As you breathe out, make the internal sound of ah to yourself. Let go a little deeper. Notice you can do this. Let go of your resistance to the divine, to the flow of the Tao. Let go of your efforting and struggle. Rest a little more deeply now. Take several of those breaths into the heart again, the heart of peace, out as you internally repeat, ah. Listen to these words from Michael Singer. In the Tao, the way, nothing is personal. You are merely an instrument in the hands of its great force, participating in the harmony of balance. You must reach the point where your whole interest lies in the balance and not in any personal preference for how things should be. I'm going to actually read that line again because it's so powerful. You must reach the point where your whole interest lies in the balance and not in any personal preference for how things should be. It's that way with all of life. The more you can work with the balance, the more you can just sail through life. Effortless action is what happens when you come into the flow of the Tao. Life happens. You're there, but you don't make it happen. There is no burden. There is no stress. The forces take care of themselves as you sit in the center. That is the Tao. It's the most beautiful place in all of life. You can't touch it, but you can be one with it. It could be that some of you are feeling one with the Tao this morning. That simple resting with what is. If you look inside now and you ask yourself, am I in balance in this moment? As Michael Singer was just pointing at, what would you find? Have a look. If you haven't closed your eyes and look. Are you in balance with this great force of life? And for those of you that feel that you're in balance at this moment, how do you know that? What's the feeling in your body? It's there. For those of you that might feel you're out of balance in your life, how do you know that? What do you feel? As we take this a little further, this contemplation, for those of you that feel that you're not in harmony or balance in your life, just feel into an area where you don't feel that you're in balance. Notice that you can do that. There's probably some area or two where you feel out of balance. And even those of you that feel in balance overall in your life, there may be an area or two in your life where you feel that you could have a greater balance, a greater harmony. All of us at this time are longing for this balance in our lives. As we navigate the challenges that we're all going through, which in my view are growing day by day, both individually and collectively, we are longing for a greater harmony and balance within. And the world is doing just the opposite. It seems to be completely out of balance. And you would be right to see it that way. In each of our lives right now, there is a great uncertainty moving. This uncertainty is a reflection of the uncertainty in the world because we're connected. It's all connected. And there can be a longing deep within inside of us to return to a state of harmony and balance in our life. Many of you know what I'm talking about. Many of you are finding that you are not going to be able to find this harmony and balance by rearranging the furniture in your life. This is an inner game, as Lao Tzu said in the teaching that I gave this morning. It's within you. For those that continue to try to get the outer world into balance, there will be frustration. And there will be a sense of chaos, of no control. And the reason is we don't have control. All of you know that. If we had had control, we wouldn't have allowed the war over in Israel to erupt this week. But we don't have control. Things happen as they happen. If we look at our lives, and you think of your life as a pie, and there are all these sections in the pie, and these sections are the areas of your life. Sections like your diet, the amount that you sleep, your exercise, your relationships, your work life and how much you work or don't work. All of these areas make up the pie of your life. this wholeness that you are. And each of these areas in our life, if we look, have a point where they are in balance or they are tipping one way or the other. So I'll take the example. I could take any, there's not an area of our life that I could not talk about this. But I'll pick out of the air sleep. Because a lot of people are having trouble sleeping right now. Isn't it true? Maybe sometimes you feel that. You're lying there in bed. Sometimes your mind's not even going and you just cannot relax. You can't rest into sleep. So if we look at the area of sleep in terms of balance, there is, let's imagine that this balance is like a pendulum that swings. And I'm taking this from the great Michael Singer who talked about this. And it's so perfect. So the pendulum, if we hit it 30 degrees this way, guess what it'll do? It'll come back this way 30 degrees. Then it'll go 25 here, 25 here, 20, 20, until it settles down. But in this area of sleep where we're in the extremes, right? There is this extreme where people are not sleeping right now. And then even that has its own subcategories. There's those of you that are waking up in the middle of the night, you can't get back to sleep. Maybe you're sleeping 4 or 5 hours, but then there are those that are sleeping only 2 or 3 hours. There's those that are not sleeping at all. This is an extreme. And then there's another extreme where we go the other way, 30 degrees the other way. And what do we have? Laziness. People who are sleeping all the time. I don't meet many people like that anymore unless they're depressed. But here's the other side of this balance, which is that there's laziness and sleeping all the time. I think we would all agree that at the middle of these two extremes, there is sleeping just enough and feeling refreshed and in harmony with life every day, right? Is there an area of your life that you cannot apply this to? Try to find one. Diet. There's these extremes in diet right now, fad diets, and you've got to, eat only food that's cooked to this temperature, and oh my goodness, you can just start to feel nothing but anxiety about the food you put in your mouth, right? And people are trying all these different diets to lose weight because they don't exercise is one reason. But anyway, we go to these extremes in diet, right? It lasts for a week or two, especially around New Year's, right? A month later, oh, not so much, right? The pie looks pretty good. I think I'll pull into McDonald's on my way home. God bless you. That's the way that this works. You swing to the other side, and before you know it, you might be gorging on junk food. Boy, you didn't want to. There's a middle way. And that's eating what your body needs, what's nutritious, what tastes good, and just what you need. The middle way. Do you see what I'm saying? I can take anything. Your work life, those of you that work too much. How many of you, if you're honest, would say that you work too much? You put in a little too much time at work. Oh, I'm really happy it's only that many. This is wonderful news. So there we are, and we're sitting at our desk, and it's late, and we've been there for 12 hours or whatever, and it's the third day, and we're exhausted. Maybe we're ignoring our family or other responsibilities that we have. That's an extreme, isn't it? There's a way that you can work what you need to, do your work well, and then be home, right? So you can see the power of this teaching about following what Buddha said was the middle way between these two extremes. Right now, I think you would all agree, most individuals are living at the extremes one way or the other in some area of their life. And here's the thing. If you are living in an extreme in 1, 2, or 3 areas of your life, you're not going to be happy. For those of you who have gone without a good night's sleep, it's impossible to feel happy. For me, this came into view a couple of years ago, because I talk about balance a lot, being a Taoist teacher. It's one of my favorite Dharma talks that I'm talking today, because people relate to it. And it's so simple. If you really get a hold of the simplicity of this, you can see how simple it is to come back into harmony with the Tao, with the flow of God's intelligence. It's so simple. We hold the responsibility in our hands. Only us. A couple of years ago, I gave up watching cable news. It was August of 2 years ago. I just dropped it. And you know why? Because I noticed that I was starting to pollute my mind and my vision with separation and tribalism, and I didn't feel good after I watched the news. And then I started watching too much. Remember in the pandemic, we had all kinds of times to do things that we normally wouldn't have had? And I just had to let it go. I was at an extreme. And then we go to another extreme, right? But there's a middle way. That middle way is called wisdom and discernment. I love that word. Discernment is using your own wisdom to know what to do in the moment so that you can be in harmony with the Tao. That can look like stopping cable news. It can look like quitting smoking. It can look like pushing yourself away from the computer when you've been watching YouTube. I've mentioned this before because this is true for me. You sit down at YouTube and you've told yourself, I'm only going to watch for this one little spiritual talk that I have here from whoever. That's it. And then you look at that column next to it and say, oh, look over here. This one really looks interesting about what's happening over in Iran right now or whatever. You guys know what I mean. Suddenly you click that one on and you go down literally the rabbit hole. 3 hours later, you told yourself it would be an hour. 3 hours later, I'm speaking from experience. Here's the thing you might notice when you do this. And by the way, this is just one example where we do this. You might notice, first of all, that when you are out of balance, you will start to feel stress in your body. You told yourself an hour, now it's 2 hours, and you start to feel it in your solar plexus, your body. Because in that hour that you just said you wouldn't sit there, you could have gone for a walk. You could have meditated. You could have called a friend. You could have did all those things that you beat yourself up about not doing to be healthy, right? You have the time. This is a whole other topic, but we have the time. We do. And especially what we need the time for right now is to commune with God. Amen. Every moment is calling us. The Buddha said it this way, do not waste your precious life. Those of you that think you don't have time to meditate, there's never been a better time to meditate and commune with God so that you can feel sane and at peace as we move through these challenging times. Nothing else is going to give this to you. I'm telling you. It's within you. The sanctuary of peace is who you are. Through having balance, we can stop wasting our time with things that don't matter. This can be gossip. There's another one. Ever done that? It's pretty juicy. Oh my God, can you believe it? Oh, so-and-so. And even if you say you don't gossip and you don't mean to, there you are. One of my teachers used to say, one comment about another person when they are not in your presence, welcome to gossip. How about not mentioning anybody when they are not in your presence? My teacher used to say, if you must talk about others, talk only about their good qualities. But even that can go to the extreme, can it? The way we talk about people, the way we navigate our relationships can go to these extremes. The pendulum in our life, no wonder we're exhausted. But what happens to a pendulum if we stop hitting it? Because you're hitting this, right? Ooh, that's juicy. And then I go over there. And what happens when you stop hitting this pendulum? What would I have to do to make the pendulum move now? I'd have to hit it. If I don't hit this, it stays still eternally. Are you following me? That's all we have to do. Let things come to the center point. The Buddha gave maybe the greatest teaching on balance that I've ever heard. If you took one teaching and lived by it, this would be enough. It was said that the Buddha was meditating at a place that he was known to meditate, the Eagle's Nest or the Eagle's Outlook in northern India. And close by there was a monk of his, because not all the monks traveled with the Buddha. Some were out, doing their own thing. And this monk's name was Sona. And he had been a monk for a little while. But Sona determined that he was going to wake up. Just like the Buddha had done and sat down under the Bodhi tree and found freedom from suffering, Sona decided, that's it. I'm not playing around anymore. I am going to put all of my attention, all of my focus on spiritual awakening, nirvana. Right? And by the way, as I've pointed out before, nirvana is not some special state that's coming for you when you die or later on in your life. Nirvana is simply the end of suffering. Can you breathe this in? Can you imagine letting go and to the point you have no more suffering? Notice that I said, doesn't mean you're not going to have challenges. You will have challenges. The challenges will remind you to stay in harmony and in the center, in balance, right? That's all they do. Oh, I need to come back to God. I've lost my way. With one breath, we can do that. So Sona determined, I am going to achieve enlightenment. So there's one indicator of the frustration. He thought he could achieve this. So he was meditating more and more. 3 hours wasn't enough. Then it was 5 hours, and then it was 8 hours. And then he was meditating his whole day long. Right? And the more that he did this day by day, the more frustrated he got. The more he wanted it, the more aggravated he became because he couldn't grab it. Oh, it got so bad for Sona that finally he thought about unmonking himself and not monking anymore. He said, that's it. I'm not a monk anymore. Luckily, I have a family who's got lots of money. I can go home, and what I'll do is I'll take my family's money and I'll give it to the poor and I'll attain merit that way. Sounds pretty good, right? If you have a family like that, you can do that. But anyway, he came from a wealthy family. He was on the verge of leaving out of his frustration, aggravation. When, wouldn't you know, the Buddha happened by one day. Oh, Sona, how are you today? Sona said, I am not good, master. What's going on? Sona laid out his problem. I'm so aggravated. Every day it grows. And even though I'm meditating more and more, he said, sometimes I don't even sleep. And the Buddha said, Sona, he said, have you ever heard a sitar? Sona said, yes, Buddha, I've heard a sitar. It makes beautiful music. He said, Sona, if you take the strings of the guitar and you loosen them all the way, will you be able to make beautiful music? Sona said, of course not, master. You can't even make a sound if all the strings are too loose. And he said, the Buddha said, if you take those same strings and you tighten them as tight as you can, what will happen? Sona said, well, they'll break. And I won't be able to make any music. And then the Buddha said, if you take those strings and you bring them to the perfect place, not too loose, not too tight, what will you find? He said, I'll find beautiful music, master. The Buddha looked at him and simply said, so it is within yourself. And he left. Within days, Sona woke up and he became enlightened. He didn't do it by more meditating. He did it by coming into the middle way. Not too loose, not too much. Are you hearing this? We can apply this in any area of our life. Whenever you are suffering or stressed, look at the area of your life that you are stressed about and see if you are in balance. I guarantee you, you might be out of balance. And by the way, what I love about this story, it comes actually from what we think is historically accurate story about the Buddha himself. It is said that when the Buddha was doing his spiritual path for 6 or 7 years before he had his spiritual awakening, he also was going to extremes. He would try anything. He wanted it so desperately. Number one, can you imagine wanting God so desperately that you were willing to do anything? Breathe that in. There's a teaching right there, right? And he went to extremes. And it said that he would emaciate his body, flagellate his body, and probably there was blood on his back. And then he went the other way and he starved his body. And he wouldn't eat but like stuff in the dirt. And he became so emaciated that he got sick. And he almost died. And somebody came along, this woman came along and found him and literally began to nurse him back to health. But the only reason she was able to nurse him back to health is because when he was lying there with a fever and with what he had done to himself, he was sleeping and he heard a sitar in the distance. And at the moment of hearing the instrument, the teaching of the middle way came to him. I've gone to extremes, he felt. I've done too much. I've done too little. I haven't taken care of this body temple. I have treated it not like the treasure it is, which can bring me to enlightenment. And in that moment, he had the same awakening that he later imparted on Sona. Not too loose, not too much. Can you imagine just living by that? That's the pendulum coming into the middle. That's the yin-yang symbol, which symbolizes what I'm talking about today. It is the symbol of perfect balance and harmony between the one energy that moves in the middle flow and its polarities. In this energy, there is duality. There is male and female. There is light and dark. There is up and down. There is male and female. This energy has two sides. When this energy is when these two sides are brought into harmony, we enter the flow of the Tao. Each of you sitting here today has this capability. All you need to do is be honest with yourself and the carry through to make the changes necessary to come back into harmony with your own being. Sometimes this can be very difficult. It can be a great commitment to do this. All of you know what I'm talking about. It can be those fearful places in our life where we just don't want to look. But through looking and realizing that we can bring this harmony back into our life through the middle way, we can find the flow of the Tao. We can find peace. It's been said, the Tao cannot be seen. It cannot be grabbed because it's everything. However, Michael Singer gives maybe the most beautiful example of what I'm speaking about today in The Untethered Soul. He says it this way: imagine that you are in this world blind. We could even close our eyes. No sight. We can't really feel where we're going. Of course, this is true. We don't know where life is taking us. We like to imagine we do, but that's just imagination. We don't really know what the next step is going to bring. But luckily, he says, the universe, the Tao, has given you a cane. And we can call this cane the feeler of extremes. So there you are, and you're walking. You can't see your next step, but you have this cane. And what does the cane do? It feels out in front of us. The cane does not tell you where to go. It tells you where not to go. As you feel side to side, uh-oh, there's the edge. If I go over there, I fall off. Oh, what's on the other side? Oh, a building, I might run into that, or a sign that might hit my head. And by navigating this extremes and feeling with the cane, we remain in the middle way. Isn't this beautiful? All of us have this discernment to feel side to side. Whenever we feel stress in the body, we can ask ourselves, what am I doing right now that is creating this stress and imbalance in my life? Now, if you continue with that, take responsibility for it. Many people are so out of balance, they know it and they don't care. Or they care and they just can't change. But for most of us who are even want some semblance of peace, we can come back to that middle way and we can go forward, feeling for the edges as we move. Living this way brings wholeness. I've spoken about balance today in terms of these pieces of a pie. Ultimately, when you begin to live in harmony with the Tao, all of those areas naturally come into harmony. You do this, and suddenly you realize there's a wholeness in your life that wasn't there before. All of you have experienced this at one time or another. Some of you are experiencing this now. You might be in a beautiful area of flow in your life. We've all had that. If you look, it's because all the areas of your life are balanced. They are in harmony with the Tao, naturally and easily. And if something gets out a little bit, you can course correct very quickly. Right? Lao Tzu warned, don't let things get too large before you start paying attention to them, right? Bring them back into balance while they're still easy to deal with. That's another great teaching, isn't it? If only we had that wisdom all the time, right? So coming back into harmony and flow in this wholeness is called integrity. Integrity means wholeness, wholeness of being. It means living authentically from this wholeness that you are. Without balance, we cannot have integrity. We cannot have this wholeness. All of you know that this is true. So I'm going to close today with one of my very, very favorite teachings from a book called The Second Book of the Tao, a collection of the writings of Chuangzi, the second great sage of Taoism. But this one's by Chung Yung, who is said to have been Confucius's grandson. I always loved that. Confucius had a grandson who was a Taoist. I'm sure that stirred him up quite a bit and brought him out of balance. Okay? So let's do this as a meditation. Close your eyes and listen to these words about integrity. And approach integrity today as wholeness, as being in perfect balance and harmony with the Tao. And listen. Integrity is our true nature. Arriving at integrity is the work of a lifetime. The person who has integrity does the right thing without trying to, understands the truth without thinking, and naturally embodies the Tao. Integrity is not only the fulfillment of our own being, it is also the quality through which all beings are fulfilled. When we fulfill our own being, we become truly human. When we fulfill all beings, we arrive at true understanding. Humaneness, balance, and understanding are inherent in our nature. And by means of them, we unite the inner and the outer. Thus, when we act with integrity, everything we do is right. breathe in and feel the harmony and balance in your being this morning. You don't have to wait. Feel the integrity of your own being. And rest there.
Thank you, beloved Reverend Carrick. You bring us so much peace. And thank all of you for joining us here today, both our guests online and those of you here in the sanctuary. We're so grateful you joined us today. Here at Unity, we believe in many paths, one God. Our purpose is to transform lives, inspire people, and make a positive difference in our world. We are a community of all walks of life and would like you to know that whatever your background, we're so glad you're here to join us spiritually today. Ushers will bring forward a flower and an information card. And if our newcomers would like to connect with our community and you feel comfortable doing so, please raise your hand so we can honor you and recognize you. Oh, wonderful, yay! And the information cards you can return into the bookstore, and that way you'll be connected with us. Every Friday we get this e-blast to tell us what's going on. Now is the time to receive our love offerings. For those of you who are not new, we take this moment to share our financial gifts with our ministry. I came over here so I could put my cheat sheets down. So the ushers will bring the basket forward, and if you would like to bless it by putting your hand over it, we appreciate that. There are so many ways to give here at Unity of Tustin. They're listed in the back of the bulletins, and there's a kiosk in the back. You can tithe, which many of us love to do. And our church and our gardens exist because of our committed giving, and we're so grateful for your generosity today. Prayer, Craig, would you like to bless us with a prayer?
So as we finish the offering again, just getting the sense of what we give is a circle, this energy going out and coming back and going out endlessly and coming back. There's no energy that we give out that does not come back to us in some form. And so it is when we give here at Unity, when we give to the beloved community, we are blessed in ways that we can't even imagine. So just know that as you give what you can, that these donations are what, as I always say when I'm here every month, really feel this. The reason that we are sitting in this sanctuary and that the lights are on and we're able to be here is because of what you just gave in the offering basket. There's no other reason. God's not coming down and just saying, well, here's enough funds for you to survive. God comes down through you. And just know that whatever you give is used in a way that continues the support of this community that you love and are able to come and participate in every Sunday. Okay? Thank you. So let's do the love offering blessing, huh? We see it here. All right. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Love is my choice. Love is my decision. I wish you peace. I wish you joy. I wish you love, 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 love. I wish you faith in yourself to reveal all that you've come here to be. Love is my choice. Love is my decision. Love is my voice. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. I wish you strength. I wish you courage. Wish you love, 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 love. I wish you purpose to create all your dreams and co-conspire with the light of your life. Love is my choice. Love is my decision. Love is my voice. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Oh, 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 your answers to eternity are always deep inside you. That freedom of expression is yours to choose right now. Love is my choice. Love is my decision. Oh, love is my voice. Love is my religion. Oh, love is my choice. Love is my decision. Love is my voice. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Here's the sing-along. Love is my religion. Love is. Words are pretty simple. Come on, y'all. Love is my religion. Love is. Oh, love is my religion. Love is. One more time. Love is my religion. Love is. Love is. Oh, love is. One more time. Love is. Oh, love is my choice. Love is my decision. Love is my religion. Love is my choice. Love is. Oh, love is. One more time. Love is. One more time. Love is. Oh, love is. One more time. Love is.
thank you, our award-winning Jamie, and you have some CDs out there we can buy, 5 or 6, right? I looked at 8. Oh, 8 now! Wow, I looked at your podcast and your website, and you're going up to Oregon. Is that right? We can ask you about that.
I'm going to Oregon in February to do a songwriters weekend.
Wow.
If you're interested, you don't have to be a songwriter. It's just have the desire, and you'll get tools. We'll write a chant, we'll write a song, lots of collaboration, and it'll be a sacred weekend of soul songs.
Well, we have a lot of musicians and choir members here that might really enjoy that. Thank you so much. Unity is a 7-day-a-week ministry, and there are so many things that we can do together in love to have fun. On the 29th of this month, which is the 5th Sunday of the month, it's our Sunday supper, and our beloved Susan Gilmore is going to be out in the garden. She needs about 30 volunteers to both serve the meals and to give out the wonderful groceries that you so generously donated through our Green Bag program. I just want to really give a shout. Oh, she also needs some bakers if you like to bake some desserts for the friends. I just want to give a shout out to Natalie. I don't see her here today, but for 7 years, 4 times a year, she's been cooking for us with her wonderful kitchen team, cooking for 80, 120. How do you do that when you don't know how many people are coming to dinner, right? So that's over like 2,500 people, 2,500 plates that she's cooked over 7 years. That's quite an effort. And with her team, and you all have so generously donated over $6,000 in groceries for us to cook up. So kudos to you. We're showing our generosity in many different ways, right? After today's service, our beloved Gretchen Hinosa, did I say it anywhere near right? Hinosa will do a conscious movement class.
It's actually next Sunday.
Oh, it's next Sunday. Good, because I can dress appropriately. I hear it's not to be missed, and that you can be physically impaired. You don't have to have a sense of rhythm. Just come and move your bodies together. And I hear it's really, really fun. So thank you for that, Gretchen. And many thanks to our beloved Zelda Benson. Some of you may have noticed her new bulletin board that's out there coming in, and there's also a new one next to the bookstore. That's been my dream, to be able to come in anytime during the week and find out what's happening. They did a poll here one time, and they found like 5 times more people come to our grounds during the week than sit here with us on a Sunday service. So now everybody's going to get to know what's going on. So thank you, and stay tuned to see what goes up there. We need a few more servers for hospitality. Next week, I think Erin's going to have a Halloween party for the kiddos, so she could always use more help with that. And if any of you know how to create wise men out of cardboard, we've got a Christmas program coming up, so Erin could use some help with that. And then we are getting more involved with our Tustin community, and Marcella has a Dino Dash that we're going to have a booth for. So talk to Marcella about that. And Zelda, again, has some T-shirts, Unity T-shirts for sale out that are going quickly. You only have a week or so to pick up your $18 Unity T-shirt, so get one while you can. There's more information out on our table, like you can get your green flyer for the free Unity Now fundraiser to pay off our mortgage, and we give so much thanks to our Reiki healers who are there in the garden to support you, as well as the prayer chaplains who wear the white badges and will pray with you in confidence. So Thank you for joining us today, and please stand for the prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God